It ended on a cliffhanger. It's starting to feel more like a crossover between Summer Turned Pretty and People Being on Vacation. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Jess if you're new here, and today we're gonna have a number generator picks how much I read for a week. Except today is Tuesday. I meant to start this video yesterday, but I was doing a bunch of other stuff, so here we are. I would normally do this Monday through Friday, so instead we're gonna do this Tuesday through Saturday, and we are going to do basically any number between 1 and 6. So we're gonna get a number generator from Google, and we're just gonna put in any number between 1 and 6, and it's gonna tell us how many hours we have to read that day. So this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, but because I usually work, I struggle to read more than a few hours per day. But right now I have some PTO, so I figured this would be a fun time to do it. So we're gonna start with this. I just put in 1 to 6. It auto-fills a number, so we're gonna actually generate. I don't know what website people usually use, but we're just gonna use Google. So let's find out together how much we're gonna be reading today. I lucked out for day 1, only 1 hour. Okay, so 1 hour it is. Today is pretty warm. I am in workout clothes because this morning I went with some friends to Hollywood Reservoir to just do well, they did a walk, I did a run. So I ran 4 miles, and I think we're gonna do some reading in the pool. We set it up yesterday and I'm very excited to go sit in it. Here is the lovely pool. There's a tarp on it right now. So I'm gonna go over there, and we have 2 hours of my book to read anyway, so I'm absolutely going to be doing more than the hour, but I'm going to stay true to the challenge, and we're going to read that much. If I go over, I'm not carrying that over to the next day. Let's see how we do. 1 hour on the clock. We'll start it. I'm going to go get changed and stuff, and then we'll start it once we're actually reading. All right, we are in the pool. This is actually so enjoyable, and I have my big old hat on because I'm really trying to protect my shoulders. I'm about to start my 1 hour of reading. I've been reading Reckless, and I've been reading it for a little while because I've been going between a few different books, but for Reckless in particular, I am super close to finishing. I think I have 2 hours left, and this morning I was reading before my run and something crazy happens. Like, you find something out about our main character and it's game changing for the whole series, so I'm really excited to get right back into it. Like I was saying, we only have 2 hours of that book, so even if I go past the 1 hour mark and I want to keep reading, that's fine. I'm not going to use that toward my time tomorrow. So we're gonna read in the pool for a little bit. It's supposed to be pretty hot today, so I'm just enjoying this here while I can, and then we'll go back inside and we'll chill for the rest of the day. Today's supposed to just be like a very casual day for me. I don't think you can see this. Actually, maybe you can. Just know I'm starting it right now. Our timer is up. We have officially made it to chapter 45 out of 49. So we are very close. I think I have like 30 pages left of this book. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 30 pages left. It's getting good. I feel like so far, I'm sure there's going to be a twist at the end, but I think it's probably going to be a 4-star for me. I think Powerless is just so hard to live up to those expectations, if that makes sense. And there's so much setup, but in such a good way. And this book is so fantastic too, and I'm so happy to be back in the world and with the characters. But I don't know, something about it is just like not quite a 5-star, like definitely 4-star material. I've been obsessed with it and like wanting to read any second that I can, and I'm glad that this is the book I get to read while I am on vacation. But so far it feels like a 4-star, but who knows, we have some twists happening. So I am going to continue reading. I spent probably like 30 minutes reading in the pool, and then I put the Kindle down and I was just like watching videos. I sat on the couch for a little while and just watched TV as well, and now I have been in here and reading. We finished our hour. I'm a little nervous about the rest of the days because I don't know if I can do 6 hours in one day, but also that's why this is a challenge, so we shall see what happens. I'm gonna keep reading though, and I will check in with you guys tomorrow when we pull our next number. Let's see what we get tomorrow. Good morning, guys. Today is Wednesday, and I wanted to update you on Reckless now that I officially finished last night. I did end up giving it 4 stars. I was really debating between a 4 and a 5, but I just felt like it very much was the middle book in a series, because there's often times where like the first book gets you into the world and there's something crazy that happens, and so then that's really exciting, and the last book there's something crazy that happens, like a revolution or changing the world in some way, and that's amazing, and that middle book has to kind of glue them together. So I think that happens a lot where it's not the best set of the series, even though you really know the characters, but I still really loved it. I was, again, debating whether or not I should give it a 5 star, so I really loved it. The ending is what really did it for me. I feel like in the middle it was a little bit repetitive, which is what shifted it toward a 4 star. The ending though, like, it ended on a cliffhanger, and it had me just thinking so much and unsure if like one person said, like in the book he said something, but if he would have said something different or answered in a different way, would that have changed the outcome? Like, so many questions, and I'm just so excited to see how everything unfolds when it comes to the 3rd book. That one's not coming out until April of 2025, so I have quite a while to wait for that, but there has been confirmed another novella that's coming out, so it'll be in between books 2 and 3. I don't know when that's happening, but I'm hopeful. Obviously it's gonna happen before April of 2025. All of that just to say, this morning I'm going to do the number generator again. I also want to start The Summer Will Be Different because this is my book club book this month, so I would like to get it out of the way so that I can continue reading other books. But last night I did keep reading You Like It Darker by Stephen King, and one of the books, and so like one of the longest ones in there, I think it's called like Danny Coughlin's Dream or something like that, but anyway, it's spooking me to the point where I was so scared to go to bed last night, and then at 2 a.m. P was growling at something and I was freaking out. So that's where we're at with that. I'm going to just set up the generator and we're going to see what it says 7, because originally it's between 1 and 10. But let's see what we get today. 3. Okay, that's not bad. As we know from one of my last videos, I read anywhere between 1 and 2 hours per day. So 3 is definitely a little bit more than what I normally read, but we have a day off, so it's okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start with this book just to make a little bit of a dent in it. I do want to get through a good chunk within the next day or two so that I can be set up and read. I have like a bunch of other books over here too from the library. I want to read some of those too. So those are my thoughts. I'm gonna go into the bedroom and read over there for a little bit, and then we'll get ready for the day. And I think I was originally gonna go to the beach today. I still, maybe I will, but I think I might just have an at-home pool day instead, because I don't really feel like going out right this second. So we'll see what ends up happening and where we end up reading. Okay, I'm so sorry if it's loud. There are some tree trimmers here from the city. I guess one of our trees is like blocking a power line or something like that, so we have to have it cut. I'm trying to like find the area of the house that's like the most quiet, but our house is a big like horseshoe shape, and so the reality is that there is no quiet spot. But I wanted to tell you guys about the challenge so far. We are about 40 minutes of the way through, and we started with The Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. So far it seems like it's a best friend's brother type situation, but we're kind of so far going between a 5-year gap. So I don't know if it's going to keep flip-flopping between the 5 years or like what the timeline's going to look like, but that's where we're at. I'm not very far in. I'm gonna go back into the room because I think it's the quietest there. I'm probably just gonna end up putting my noise canceling headphones on because it's really loud. I'm hoping that they are done by like midday when it's really hot, because I noticed that they put signs on my street but then also on the street over, and if they do leave by then and it's a little bit quieter, we'll go outside and go in the pool. But if not, then I'll just not do that today because I don't want to go outside when it's this like it's loud inside the house, let alone outside. Anywho, we're gonna go back over and read. Can you guys hear that? It's getting really loud. Okay, I'm gonna go read. I'll see you guys in a little bit. It's only 10 a.m. right now, and it sounds like the not gardeners, what am I trying to say? The tree people are gone, so that's good news. I keep getting distracted because I have rejoined TikTok, and that's just not good for my productivity. So, but I'm gonna let P out. It's supposed to be nearly 100 today, so I think we will hang out in the pool today. I have the cover on it again, and maybe do some reading there, but I'm going to just kind of hang out outside for a little bit. Right now it's only 85 degrees, and in the shade it feels so nice. I'm just gonna grab my coffee and we're gonna read outside and continue. All right, I took a little bit of a break because we had gotten to the halfway point and now we're back in the bedroom. It's about noon now and I think I'm going to switch books over to You Like It Darker. I've noticed that I really enjoy switching books and like reading multiple books at once because based off of what I'm in the mood for, I'm already in a story so I can just like pick up and go. And then also if one story is feeling a little slow, then I can switch to something that's a little bit faster paced. So I kind of like that. Like I was saying earlier though, this one, let me actually triple check what it's called. Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream. There we go. This one is one of the longer ones in this book. And last night it freaked me out so much that I couldn't sleep basically. Like I was getting freaked out. So I want to continue it now that it is like the middle of the day. It's literally noon right now. So that way I'm not freaking myself out too close to bedtime. And then I can always switch back over to the romance that I was reading. I'm actually really enjoying it. It's starting to feel more like a crossover between Summer I Turned Pretty and People We Meet on Vacation. So I'm really enjoying that. It's like two books that I really love. Like I said, now that I'm in that one a little bit and I'm excited about it, when I'm ready to switch away from this, then I'm already jumping into a story that I know because I feel like I have a really hard time with starting new books. So if I'm constantly switching between books I'm already reading, then that's kind of nice. Let's finish our last hour and a half of reading and then from there, I don't really know what the plan is for the day. Honestly, I've just been kind of hanging out. I don't know, maybe it's just another at-home day and then we'll do the beach tomorrow or something like that. Excited to dive into this a little bit more and I'll let you guys know how far I get after my hour and a half. It is 2 o'clock now. We have about half an hour left on reading for the day for hitting my 3-hour mark. I think today's gonna be another day where I go beyond my reading number. I was nervous to do any number between 1 and 6 because if I get 6 hours, for example, or even 5, like that is a lot of reading for the day. But then also having like 1 hour or even 3 hours is like not too bad, especially with the days off. So maybe we'll have to try this challenge while I'm actually working as well because I could see that being very interesting, having to fit in 6 hours of reading around my work schedule. I don't even know if that's possible, but anyway, back to the book. I am sort of getting desperation vibes from this short story. Why do I keep forgetting what it's called? Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream. This one is, I can't remember if I said exactly what it was about. I know I said that it was spooking me, but basically it's about this guy who has a really crazy dream about an abandoned gas station, and at the gas station there is a woman who is buried and he sees a dog basically like digging up the grave. And he freaks out, wakes up, and he's like, there's no possible way that this is true. He has never seen this gas station before. He's never even been to that town because it's like nearly 100 miles away from where he lives. So he goes to work and he looks up on the computer to see if it's even a real gas station or if this is like really just like something weird. Like the dream for whatever reason is really sticking for him. So he's like, maybe it's just like not even real and then I could just like pretend like this never happened. But the gas station does exist. And so he finally decides like, okay, let me just go out there and go prove to myself that it's not real. And he goes and it is real. So it's all of the things that happen after that. And so for that reason, I'm getting like really creeped out, but I'm glad that I'm reading it during the day because like nothing in particular right this second is too spooky, but just Stephen King's writing is just so, I don't know how to even describe it. It's like, it's really easy for me to get creeped out by his writing. I felt very similarly when I was reading Desperation, where things were just eerie enough that it was like freaking me out. That one was very interesting, but I didn't love the twist at the end of that one from what I recall. It's been a few years. I think I read that one in 2019, so it's been a while since I read it, but that was I think one or the first Stephen King novel I've ever read actually. Came to me as a recommendation from somebody and I did like it, but since then for some reason I've had a really hard time finding Stephen King novels that are actually scary. So that's why I was so excited to pick up this one because obviously by the title they're supposed to be a little bit darker. So I'm gonna keep reading. I'm currently on chapter 26 of this short story, going back to it, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. We are out of the pool now and I stopped my timer when we were over there, but I kept reading my book. So we are at the 3-hour mark officially. I feel like that wasn't too bad of a reading day like I was telling you guys before. 3 hours just feels like a typical weekend day. So I am gonna keep reading between this book and this book. I have been actually having a really good time. This one is just picking up. That is it for the 3 hours. I obviously will see you guys tomorrow, hoping for another easy day, but we'll see what happens. I think tomorrow I may be going to the beach with P based off of how I feel. I am gonna continue on with my day and I will check in with you guys tomorrow. Good morning, guys. Today's Thursday, day 3 of our little challenge here. I actually ended up reading a lot more than anticipated yesterday. I finished Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream in the Stephen King You Like It Darker book. I was not anticipating to finish that, and honestly, I probably read closer to like 5 or 6 hours yesterday because I was so excited to finish it. So I'm already almost entirely the way through the short story book, but because I was so focused on You Like It Darker, I didn't read any of Poor Things yesterday. I've been trying to read a little bit each day so that I can get through it by the end of the month. So let's see how much I have to read today. And then we have those 2 books. We also have This Summer Will Be Different. And then we also, of course, have my audiobook. I'm currently listening to Lessons in Chemistry. So we have quite a few books to be able to like mood read between, which is really nice. All right, so let's see what we end up getting today. 3 again. Oh my gosh, okay. 3 wasn't too bad yesterday, so I'm hopeful that we can do it again today. I was planning on leaving extremely early, like waking up at 5, leaving immediately to go over to the dog beach. But I think instead I'm gonna go later today because there's so much traffic right now getting in that area, mostly because people are commuting. So I'm going to read for a little while here and then we'll get ready, we'll go. I don't know how much reading I'll get done there, so I wanna do a little bit here and then we will go from there, obviously. Hello, you guys. That was so much fun. We went over to the beach like I had mentioned to you guys, and we stayed there for about 2 hours. It's actually perfect because when we first got there were a couple of people, so I just left P on the leash. But then once we were starting to pack up initially, everybody was kind of leaving, so then I was like, maybe we just like hang out for a little longer, and there was like nobody there. So for another like 45 minutes, P got to go off leash, play with his frisbee. We came back and we got some in and out. I did a mixture of reading Poor Things as well as listening to Lessons in Chemistry on my audiobook. So we actually are almost done with 3 hours. We are at 2 hours and 52 minutes, so we have 8 minutes left. I'm going to pause on Lessons in Chemistry because the next chapter is 20 minutes long, but I'm already 75% of the way through. Well, 77 it says. If you guys haven't listened to the audiobook or like have been putting it off, I personally had been putting it off for a while because I've heard mixed reviews on what people thought about the book, and I think that like maybe if I read the book I wouldn't feel so deeply about it as I currently do, but I'm obsessed with it. I feel like I really connect with the characters. I really love, there's a dog in the book and his name is 630, and there are some moments where you get an insight as to what 630 is thinking. So I love that part, and I don't know, just like there's just so many little bits and pieces that I love. I didn't really know what it was about going into it, but it turns out it's about a woman who is a chemist. She is a working woman in the 60s, and she's just very blunt, and it's kind of like just talking about her life as well as talking about what was the norm for the 60s for women in particular. So it's very interesting. There are parts that actually made me tear up a little bit while I was driving, which is very surprising because it takes a lot for a book to make me emotional. I tend to not get super emotional when it comes to like books or TV shows or movies just because I know that they're not real, but this actually made me emotional. So it was really good. I also found out that it's a TV show on Apple TV. I guess it came out end of last year, so I might watch a few episodes while I eat my food really fast because the episodes that I watch at the beginning I will have already read those bits and pieces of. So going to do that, and then we'll get back into Poor Things. I didn't read too much of it, but I did get this on the Kindle as well, so I was able to read a little bit at the beach because I didn't bring in the physical copy. But yeah, it's very interesting so far. This one is obviously a bit more on the Frankenstein side. Okay, we finished our reading with Poor Things. I actually read 2 more chapters after my time ended, but we did hit the 3-hour mark. I keep just like randomly picking up my phone being like, I wonder if I hit time, and then I'm like literally within a few seconds of it like being the time, which is, I don't know, like I always thought I had a really bad sense of time, but I guess I'm pretty decent at it. Anyway, I am on chapter 11 now of Poor Things. It's a very interesting story. Like, it's not at all what I thought it was going to be, but it does remind me a lot of Frankenstein, where it's basically this female main character who is constructed from death, and she kind of starts to like decide that she wants to be her own person, which very much happens to Frankenstein as well. Like, he is revived and then is like, I want to do my own things. We did hit our 3 hours for the day, so that is great. So I'm going to wrap some things up here, and then other than that, it's 5:30 now, so I'm just gonna relax, and I'll see you guys in the morning for the next day of the challenge. Morning guys, today's Friday and we are back with the number generator. We're going to see how much reading we have to do. Like I told you guys yesterday, I read a little more than what I had to for my 3 hours, but let's see what we have for it today. So we have our number generator up and I just set it for 1 to 6 and 5 hours. This is what I was worried about. Today is like the day that I wanted the least amount of reading because I have the most plans, but I have been reading close to probably 4 or 5 hours almost every day that I've had like 1 or 3. So let's see what happens. Our plans today are we're going to head over to Huntington Library, and then we're also going to potentially go to my friend's pool. It's supposed to be kind of, or it is kind of gloomy today. So I don't know, we'll kind of see how we're feeling based off of like the weather if we're gonna end up going to the pool, but for sure I'm gonna try to head over to Huntington Gardens. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of video editing. I'm working on my video right there, and then we're gonna do a workout and then we'll go from there. Let's see how we accomplish these 5 hours. So massive change of plans yesterday, and then I'll update you guys on the actual reading. I ended up not going to Huntington Library because Ryan and I realized that we could go together over the weekend, and so instead I just went straight to my friend's house. She lives in an apartment complex, so there's like a pool and a jacuzzi, and we just brought a hotspot down to the pool, and then she was able to work while we were hanging out. So we did that. It was really fun, but because of that I was extremely social and I did not get as much reading done as I would have liked to. So we read 1 hour and 39 minutes yesterday out of the 5 hours. I did read like probably 5-ish hours on each of the other days just because I was really into my books or like really wanted to finish the short stories I was reading. But like I said, I was not going to carry that over. So today we do have to make up for the 5 hours with, if I'm doing my math right, that should be 3 hours and 20 minutes extra. So that's where we're at. We have no plans today. Today is going to be the last day of the challenge as well. So, but let's see how much we have to read today. We have our random number generator right here, and that actually couldn't have worked out better for me considering I have so much to make up. Oh my god, wow. Okay, so 1 hour plus the 3 hours and 20 minutes. So we'll do a total of 4 hours and 20 minutes today. We are just gonna kind of lay low today only because both Ryan and I are very tired. So I was really nervous I was gonna get 6 and then I was gonna somehow have to read 9 hours, which is just like, I don't even think I would have been able to do that. That actually worked out very well for me. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna go make some coffee and then we're gonna start reading. Okay, you guys, it is actually noon on the dot. I have read for almost 2 hours, I think. So we have 2 hours and 46 minutes left to go of today's time. And I was reading This Summer Will Be Different for a little while. I'm gonna go back to it, but I have 3 hours and 45 minutes left. I actually was perfectly on par for like finishing this book with how much time I had left, but then I got a little hungry, so I decided to make a breakfast burrito. And while I did that, I was listening to Lessons in Chemistry, and I got so invested in it that I literally just like sat here for a little bit. I did pick up my Switch and play. I just listened to it for a while and it made me tear up and everything. It was so good. I can't believe that I put off reading that book for so long, and I do think that I'm glad that I read it as an audiobook in comparison to like reading the actual copy. At the very end of the audiobook, the author talks about how she came up with the story and like her different influences, and she talks about how there was an original story that was the main character's daughter and like how that scene was supposed to open. That also got to me a bit, but yeah, the whole story was just like so fantastic. I gave it 5 stars if you can't tell. I really enjoyed it. So now I'm going to head back into The Summer Will Be Different. I'm really enjoying this one. It's just like a really cute summer vibe. Like I've been saying, it feels like a mix between Summer I Turned Pretty and People We Meet on Vacation, and I'm just loving it. So I'm gonna go back into that and we're gonna rest for a little bit on the couch while reading. We're gonna finish our 2 hours and 45 minutes of reading for the day, and then we'll be done with the challenge. I am kind of sad that I didn't do the full 5 hours yesterday, but considering how much I have read outside of the challenge this week, I feel like I did a pretty solid job. Let's end day 5 strong and hit our reading goal of the 4 hours and 20 minutes for the day. Finished the 4 hours and 20 minutes. We have, it says I have 50 minutes left in my book, but when I had 45 minutes left, it said that I had over an hour, so I probably only have closer to like 30-ish minutes, around like 80% mark. Like everything felt like it was wrapping up, so then I was like, why is there another 20% left of the book? And it makes sense what's happened, but at the same time, I feel like it didn't need to happen, but it feels more like real life because of the way that it happened. Like, it didn't need to happen because it's a book, but if it was real life, it would happen the way that it happens in the book. Does that make sense? So I am glad that it happened this way, but also, I don't know, it's like kind of a interesting third act breakup. Those are my thoughts so far. I am going to finish the book really quickly and then we'll wrap up this video, but I just want to kind of see how it ends and then we'll talk about everything. I'll see you guys in like 30 minutes. Okay, we just finished the book. I am gonna give it 4 stars. I actually really loved this book. I feel like the ending was, there's always gonna be a third act breakup, so the ending was fine. Like, the breakup was fine, I should say. The ending was good. I like the way that they did it. I think that like the way that the third act breakup happened and just the way that it ended up ending, again, like I was saying earlier, it feels like it's not like a book, but also in some ways that actually it makes it better because then it's like a real life, like these characters all feel real, and so the fact that the way that they handle these situations also felt real kind of just like pushed it along for me personally. So I really liked that. I'm giving it 4 stars. Overall, again, yesterday we didn't accomplish our total of 5 hours, but today we did our 4 hours and 20 minutes, even though we only had to do 1 hour just to make up for yesterday's time. And on top of it, I read a little bit extra. So I read another like 30-ish minutes. So we actually almost hit 5 hours today, which basically just like had the days swapped, so that's kind of funny. Overall though, I had a really fun time. Okay, he decided he wants to sit right where the camera is. Anyway, my point is just to say that I had a really fun time just like testing myself and trying to read a little bit more than maybe I normally would have, although the 1 hours and the 3 hours, like that was pretty standard for me, so maybe we'll have to try this again in a different capacity, or again like during work week or something like that where it's a little bit harder in some ways. But I really enjoyed my time, and we also ended up finishing 3 books in this video. So we finished Reckless, Lessons in Chemistry, and The Summer Will Be Different, which is so fun. So thank you guys for following along and just like being here with me on the journey. That's all I have. So thank you guys again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.